TIFY. This is for you, and these are for me. It's a new year. New year means new experiences, new joys to have, and new games to play. So many great games, and also games released by Microsoft, are going to be released this year, and I can't wait to play all of them. But each year, a very prestigious award is given out, the Game of the Year. And last year, I did not play a single one of them. I don't own a PS5, I don't own an Xbox Series console, and my PC for months has been packed in a box in the corner over there. So the only one I had a chance of playing was Balatro. Or is it Balatro? I actually don't know. And I just didn't get around to playing it. I own it even. But so, I didn't play a single Game of the Year nominee last year, and that feels wrong. I love video games. The art of them is beautiful and fantastic. And it feels like I should have an opinion on Game of the Year outside of, well, I think Balatro is kind of cool because it's an indie game and it looks fun. So that's what we're going to do today. I am going to rank and review every single Game of the Year nominee, having never played any of them. And at the end of this TIFY, I'm going to crown one of them Game of the Year without ever actually playing them. It's time to do this thing. First things first, we have a disqualification to make. I will not be counting Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree in this list at all. Fuck you, Game Awards. I hate that nomination. It's a DLC, and it's not a new game at all, so it doesn't count. That's the only one that we're disqualifying though. All the other ones are new games, and they look absolutely fantastic. So now, it's really time to start reviewing them without ever actually playing. Well, would you look at that? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a weird one. See, on one hand, it is a fantastically beautiful game with some gorgeous visuals and some of the most amazing music that I have heard. However, it is a remake. And not only that, it is half of a remake. It is the second half of the Final Fantasy VII remake, and it feels weird. However, from what I know, the Final Fantasy VII remakes are odd. They have the same characters and a similar enough story, but it's really a retelling with completely different gameplay, completely different, like a whole bunch of things, and they're very different. So I feel like it counts, whereas something like Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree is just a DLC. That don't count. It's hard to rank this. I have never once played a Final Fantasy game at all, which I need to fix. I know that. But this game looks really fantastic. It looks beautiful, and it looks really high quality. I'm struggling to say anything more. Turns out, when you haven't played a game, it's a little hard to comment on it. Who could have thunk? Oh, this isn't where I meant to go. Astrobot. Astrobot is the game that actually won Game of the Year, and can I say, this might be cheating, but I have actually played a little bit of a demo of Astrobot at a JB Hi-Fi here. So I have about 15 minutes of experience with this game. I still haven't played the full game, so it counts for this video. From what I played though, it is fantastic. It's beautiful to control. I have never played a PS5 game before now, so I actually understood the features of the DualSense controller from playing it, and it was really cool to see for this first time. Not sure how much it would justify itself outside of this game, but you know, that needs to be said. It was very cool to see. But actually playing it was just fun. The game was just fun, and I can see why this won. Like, genuinely, it is just an enjoyable game. Like, there's no real thing else that I can say from everything that I've seen, from all the trailers and all the, like, different things people have talked about it. It's just joyful. It's just fun. So, yeah, I get why it won. Video games are a form of art and entertainment, and this was a really fun game with some beautiful visuals, some really fun music, and from the literally 10-15 minutes I played, just a really fun level design. The mechanics look cool. This game just exudes a sort of sense of joy, and it's really infectious from just even the trailers. So good game. Good game. You know, the first time I played my favorite game of all time, Dark Souls 1, was on the Switch. Fake fan, I'm aware. But point is, I love the Souls-like games. All the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and now Elden Ring, they all just, ooh, they have my heart. The Souls-like genre is fantastic, and I am a fan. So, when I heard this year that there was a real new game that was Souls-like, nominated for Game of the Year, I was quite excited. It piqued my interest. And then I heard the name, Black Myth Wukong. Oh, that rang a bell. See, up until its release, I heard so much about Black Myth Wukong. People were building the hype. People are excited. Oh, all this new information. It's such a great looking game. Building and building and building, and then it came out. And that's kind of it. I haven't heard anything about this game since it came out until it didn't win Game of the Year, which is really surprising for me. Now, of course, I might just have been in the wrong spheres of the internet or whatever, but that seems unlikely when I love Souls-like games, and I am constantly trying to learn more about them and their lore and everything just because I love them so much. So I'm in those communities, and I heard zilch, pretty much. Again, anecdotal, but this whole video is kind of anecdotal, so gotta be prepared for that. Now, that's not to say this game did poorly. It sold incredibly well, 20 million units if I'm not wrong. I could be, but that's super well, and I just am shocked I didn't hear too much about it. I heard more about Lies of P, that Pinocchio-based Souls-like. I'm pretty sure that's what it was at least. I haven't played it myself just yet, but it looks fantastic. But I heard more about that and its world and its bosses and everything. And the most I've heard about Black Myth Wukong are gameplay clips. There's 20 seconds of gameplay, 2.5 minute cutscene. You know, I haven't heard about the world or the lore or any of the cool bosses that are in this world. I haven't heard about anything that gave players trouble, which is really a big draw of these kinds of games. I'm a little perplexed, to be honest. So while this game had the hype, it had excitement behind it, and it is a Souls-like, so I should love it. I just genuinely haven't heard much about it, and great visuals and music and great cinematics doesn't make up for a lack of memorable gameplay or things that are memorable enough for someone who hasn't heard of or played the game to hear about. You know, it's a little disappointing, honestly. But that's not to comment on the quality of the game. The game looks wicked good. It runs smoothly, it looks beautiful, and I love a good score, especially for a Souls-like. It's got a good score. So, while it's got some issues with memorability and things that I think are rather important for a game of the year, it does still look like a pretty good game, you know? Whew. Balatro is the next game I want to talk about that was nominated for Game of the Year. I've seen people turn on this game so fast, in the best way possible. I saw so many people go from complaining that this got a nomination to understanding that because they downloaded it, played it, and it just clicked. I have literally not run into a single person that does not like Balatro, which is insane for a game like this, on this scale. Now obviously, I own it. I haven't played it yet, but I'm really excited to because the gameplay of a deck-building poker roguelike that is highly addictive is a terrible combination for me because I will just play this for days. And I am so excited to start. It looks beautiful. I love the pixel art. I love pixel art in general. Just, can you blame me? But it looks fantastic. And the music is really interesting. I've heard that it's just one track that just builds and builds and builds on itself. That's really cool. I find that so fascinating. I find the music in a lot of these games really interesting to me. But the coolest part of this is that it's just a regular grassroots indie game that fully got a Game of the Year nomination. Now, That's just awesome. And honestly, from everything I've heard, I think it is well deserved. Now, my personal indie game of the year last year was Animal Well, but I can't deny, this looks wicked quality, and I don't blame anyone that puts this in there. From what I've seen, it is well deserving of the Game of the Year nomination, and it is well deserving of winning Indie Game of the Year. Hell, some people put it as their Game of the Year, and from what I've seen, no one argues. It is well deserving of every accolade and thing that it just receives. People love this game, and honestly, from what I've seen, I just don't blame them. It just looks great. Finally, we have reached the last game nominated for Game of the Year 2024, Metaphor ReFantazio. This game looks cool. I've only ever played one Persona game in Persona 3, as you know, so I'm a little, uneducated with the whole Atlas style of RPG. It's on my list to play Persona 5 this year. You remember that, obviously. But, I'm a little not used to it. But these, mechanics look super fun. The gameplay looks interesting, and fans seem to like it. It seems to be like a distillation of the Persona style into something new and, really interesting, something that works well. And I think that's awesome. But obviously, I haven't played it, so I don't know too much about those mechanics, It's been a while since I played Persona 3 even, so even my memory from that's a little futzy. Visually, though, I think the game looks fantastic. I love the art direction of this game. It looks... Although, little thing, gotta just say, don't think it should have won Best Art Direction at the Game Awards. Personally, I think we agree on this. I think that should have gone to Neva. Although, I guess I should be fair. I haven't played either game, so I can't really judge them. I don't know if you've noticed, I've had a bit of an issue with this video. I've had a bit of a problem running throughout. I'm interested to see if you picked it up. Repetition. I feel at least like I'm being very repetitive. This game, ooh, the community thought this about it. I think that's cool. I think this game looks fantastic. I love the art. Ooh, the music, their beats. Move on. And that kind of feels like an issue, because these are all wildly different games. I should have different and unique things to say about them in a normal review, but you kind of can't when you're just talking about games you've never heard of before. Well, not never heard of, but just never played. I don't have any experiences with these games. The closest I've gotten is playing a demo and being a fan of the community that a game is based on. That doesn't seem wholly fair. And when I meant to make an objective ranking at the end of this and say, certainly, without any faltering, that this is my game of the year, without having played it, I don't know. Something about that seems kind of off, I don't know if I'm being fair to these games. And that's kind of not what I wanted with this. I thought it would be much easier to go in and be like, oh, look at this, ha ha ha, game I haven't played, it's first place. But if I can't judge a game because I haven't played it, come with me. Come with me. Okay. Just set that there. This week on TIFY, I challenged myself to rank the Game of the Year nominees for last year and crown one, the definitive Game of the Year, without ever actually having played them, and I failed. I think I failed. At the start of this video, I said I didn't want all my reviews to just be, ooh, this is Balatro. It's an indie game and I like the look of it. And at the end of the day, they kind of all were. I think I know why. See, I very firmly believe that video games are a form of art. We've talked about this before. And it's a very unique form of art. Whereas a movie you can watch passively, and a painting you can just observe without ever having to actually play or interact with it physically, video games are a form where you have to visually see something and physically engage with it at the same time. It's a medium where you particularly have to engage with the media. And by not engaging with any of these works outside of the trailers and fan reaction, it kind of falls apart. I think it speaks volumes that the one that I think deserves to win Game of the Year is the one I actually played a demo of. The one I engaged with the most. And that's not fair. That's not fair to Astrobot, and that's not fair to the other games that I mentioned in this video. So I'm not gonna crown any of them Game of the Year, because you know what? To review something, you gotta understand it, and to understand it, you have to engage with it, and to engage with video games, you gotta play it. And I didn't play any of these, so it's not fair. But, I'm not about to leave you empty-handed, no, because that'd be a waste of time, aside from the journey. But there is a destination. I am gonna say a video game that is my personal Game of the Year for 2024. A game that I have played, and a game that I love. My winner for Game of the Year 2024 is Animal Well. Oh my god, I love Animal Well. Oh, you know, because I mean, talk about a lot, but it's a Metroidvania, and the mechanics are so fun, and I love all the toys being the different, like, upgrades you get, and the fact that there's just so many puzzles to use them in just such interesting and creative ways. It is a phenomenal game, and a phenomenal first game from an indie solo developer. It was published by Donkey, which is kind of friggin' awesome to me. I think that's fucking cool. I just think that's fucking cool. There's one puzzle that's basically completely optional, where you have to jump across a pond with lily pads and herons, and if you get in the line of sight of the herons, they kill you. And I struggled with this puzzle for so long, but I only remember it so clearly because it's where the game clicked for me. It is where I understood everything suddenly, and I fell in love with this game. And I think it speaks volumes that I had more to say about this game in 30 seconds than any of the other ones. You gotta engage with it. And to engage with games, you gotta play them. And so my Game of the Year is one I played. Animal Well. These other games look fantastic. I'm gonna play them one day, but for now, God, Animal Well is so good. God, it's so good.